In this go-for-a-punch world in which we live, where we spend our days with SpongeBob SquarePants and our nights strolling London after midnight, you may think you've heard of everything we've yet to find. But there is more unknown in this world than you could possibly imagine. This is lesser-known lost media.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It is I, your host, Mr. Sean, and welcome to Volume 11 of Lesser Known Lost Media. Normally, our Lost Media videos come out on Wednesday, but we did need an additional day in order to properly determine who the winner of the 200 subscriber giveaway was, so that we could announce the winner of that giveaway, as well as the 150 subscriber giveaway in this video. So we will be announcing both of those at some point in this video. Just please be sure to watch to figure out if you have won or not. And as always, if you would like to support the channel, please check out the Patreon, check out the minis. We will be doing another giveaway. We actually do have another giveaway going on right now for the 300, and we will do another one at 400, and we'll be doing that all the way up to 1,000 subscribers, at which point it will be a new giveaway every 1,000. And considering how fast you guys have gotten to 300, I have no doubt we'll get there in no time. Pardon me if I sound a little different. I actually had to reboot my computer to get the issues that I was having dealt with. Some kind of setting in my computer had gone wonky, and my video program was not functioning right. But now I've lost all of my vocal presets, so I'm getting them back, but it is taking time. Should have written them down. If you haven't seen this series before, don't worry, they can be watched in any order. All it is I am exploring the lost media items, like off the Lost Media Wiki, that you don't see other YouTubers talking about all that much. We always start with 4 pieces of safe for work lost media, and then end with one final not safe for work piece. So without further ado, let's get to it. At number 1, we have Castle Sinister, a lost early British horror film from 1932. Castle Sinister was a 1932 British horror film directed by Widgie R. Newman and was made as a quota quickie. Now, what quota quickies were B-movies that were made in response to the Cinematograph Films Act of 1927, where in order to make sure that films from America and then the rest of Europe did not overrun the British market, the government in Great Britain said that films had a certain amount of British films had to be shown. All film distributors and exhibitors had to show a proportion of British films. By 1936, 20% of all films shown in any cinema had to be British, and they defined that British film has a British person or company as the producer. Studio sequences had to be shot in a British studio, and a high majority of cast and crew had to be British or from the British Empire. Mainly the cast and crew had 75% of the wages paid had to go to British people. And due to a lack of just ability to film high quality films to make up that much and get these quotas met, they decided to make a bunch of cheap ones. Hence the quota quickie, a low quality film made just so that these distributors could make their quota. So this particular quota quickie, Castle Sinister, was supposedly shown in Liverpool, London, and Manchester in April of 1932, and it was 50 minutes in length. It is believed to be one of the earliest examples of a British horror movie featuring a mad scientist type of character, and in general, it was just one of Britain's earliest horror films. Now, all we know about the plot comes from a couple of magazine reviews. The magazine Bioscope gave this synopsis. The story of a young man's adventure in a large country mansion with a scientist who is engaged in forwarding his theory that rejuvenation by the transfer of certain glands is more than a possibility. A girl is, of course, involved to supply the necessary love interest, and a misshapen creature, victim of the scientist, supplies the thrills. And another synopsis was given by the Kinetograph Weekly, and it reads, Ronald Kemp, visiting a remote castle, is pressed by his host, a professor, to stay the night. In the course of it, Ronald meets Jean, who entreats him to help her father, who is kept under observation by the professor. This intercourse is watched by an ape-like monster, who jealously attacks Ronald. Jean summons the professor to help. Instead, he threatens to use Jean for his experiments in brain grafting. The monster then attacks and kills the professor. Jean's father is freed, and she and Ronald join him in leaving Castle Sinister. The film, just based on the fact that it was made to fill a quota, it was not good, supposedly. It received very bad reviews by the critics. Bioscope stated that it was theatrically staged, poorly mounted and lighted, and acted with such amateurism that it never for a moment convinces. And the kinetograph stated that the film might appeal to an uncritical audience. And again, this was more or less just a film that was part of a big wave to keep British cinema, the British film industry, from being overrun, so no footage, trailers, stills, or even posters of the movie are known to survive, and we have very little information on it. Honestly, I feel like the coolest thing about this one is probably its name. Maybe someday we'll get like a revamp like Escape from Castle Sinister. Is Castle Films still making remakes? At number 2, we have Kitaro of the Graveyard, which is a partially found artwork from the Kamishibai street plays circa the 1930s through the 50s. Gegege no Kitaro is a multimedia franchise known for popularizing the use of yokai, Japanese spirits and monsters, in pop culture. The series' origins started in a type of street theater known as Kamishibai, and was originally created by Masami Ito before being adapted by Shigeru Mizuki. At the time it was known as Kitaro of the Graveyard, Hakaba Kitaro. These Kamishibai versions of the Kitaro story differ vastly from what we know today, featuring a much darker tone. Mizuki started work as a Kamishibai artist before he actually popularized the Kitaro character. All of his artwork from the time is considered lost, with the exception of the reproductions he made himself. So if you don't know, what Kamishibai is a type of street theater storytelling where the narrator on the street corners has a set of illustrated boards that they place in a miniature stage-like device and narrate the story by changing each image. And so this artist, Mizuki, actually had done a lot of artwork for his work, but he basically kind of struck gold with this Kitaro character. Now, some of his original artwork has been recovered and is featured in certain books about the history of Kamishibai, but a lot of it is gone. And also a lot of what we do have are reproductions he later made. So Ito's original version, the story is basically, there's a bunch of different versions, but the common theme is a ghost of a woman leads a bystander to her grave, where it's discovered that the woman has given posthumous birth to a healthy baby. The original Kitaro had a disfigured face with buck teeth and a large bulging eye. He was born in a graveyard from the belly of a snake due to the karma of his parents. The other details of the story are unknown. It is said that the original Kitaro of the Graveyard was even more popular than Golden Bat, which was another well-known Kamishibai story character. However, we don't actually have any concrete proof that this is the case. Also, these original drawings, when they were done by Ito and not Mizuki, are thought to have been lost possibly during World War II. So after World War II, Mizuki would start working as a Kamishibai artist. Kamishibai was in decline because Japanese people had been introduced to other forms of media like television and manga, so he decided to adapt a manga based on Kitaro of the Graveyard into Kamishibai stories. These works actually not only made him popular, but also made the character of Kitaro popular. Mizuki is said to have made 4 different plays based on Kitaro of the Graveyard. These include The Snake Man, Karate Kitaro, Garoa, and Ghost Hand. There is very little known about the plot of the last 2, but despite the popularity, again, all these original illustrations seem to be lost to time. Mizuki did attempt to recreate many of the illustrations from memory, most notably the early design for Kitaro as he had been depicted in the Snake Man play, but we don't really know for certain if these are what they looked like, or if these are what they looked like just to the best of his ability. So unfortunately, these items remain lost. Alright, before we go into the next piece, we have a special announcement from me. Take it away, me. Thanks, me. Hey guys, it's Mr. Sean here with the announcement for the winner of our 150 subscriber giveaway. As you might recall, this giveaway was for Steve, the multi-armed winged snake demon. And our winner is... Good Grimace.
Yeah.
Alright, Good Grimace, please feel free to reach out to me on any of my contact information. The last couple guys have messaged me on Instagram. You can also send me an email if you would like. Just please contact me, let me know where to send the miniature, and you have 7 days to do so. So, hey, back to you, me. Thanks, me. Now coming in at number 3, we have Wolfman Zapp, the lost audio of the animatronic character show tape. The existence of this one is unconfirmed, from the 1980s. Now, Wolfman Zapp is the name of the titular mascot character of the restaurant Zapp's Bar and Grill, which was created by the same man, Nolan Bunchell, who also created both the Rock-afire Explosion and Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza Time Theater. Animatronics during this time were often accompanied by show tapes, which contained programming information and audio for the animatronic character. While it is believed that Wolfman Zapp's show tape should be a thing, it is not confirmed, as there has been no video footage or the tapes have ever surfaced for the character. This is due mainly to the fact that Zapp's Bar and Grill, which had 5 locations in Tampa, Florida, San Jose, California, Dallas, Texas, Reno, Nevada, and Boulder, Colorado, have not been documented well online, and it is unknown how many of these restaurants contained an animatronic. Some speculate that Wolfman Zapp was a retrofit of an existing Pizza Time Theater animatronic with simple cosmetic changes. Pizza Time Theater was known to use retrofitted animatronics, but, no one can confirm or deny that that is the case here. Some say that the actual working animatronic of Wolfman Zapp was never even put into production and was simply a prototype, though he does show up in a Pizza Time Theater parts manual from the early 80s, and so that would not, that it is thought that he actually did make it into production. Now, Zapp's Bar and Grill was considered an adult establishment, so it could be theorized that his show tape could have contained adult humor, though, again, that is just a rumor. But ultimately, we have very few images or evidence of Wolfman Zapp, and even some potential animatronics that may or may not be Wolfman Zapp. Ultimately, the actual whether or not this character was around in any official capacity is unknown, and it's pretty interesting. At number 4, we have Mike Henry's Batman publicity stills, which are lost photographs advertising CBS's Batman TV series circa 1964. Now, Batman has had several live-action adaptations in TV show episodic format over the years, whether the one you might be most familiar with being the Adam West Show or the super racist wartime era Batman serial from the 1930s. Batman has been on screen for quite a while. But there was one that was pitched where former American footballer and actor Mike Henry, known for such roles as Tarzan in the 1960s and Junior from the Smokey and the Bandit series, he posed for a set of publicity stills where he dressed up as Batman for a Saturday morning children's program that CBS had bought the idea for in 1964. The show would have been a more straightforward and serious in tone than ABC's Batman starring Adam West, and Henry was one of the actors considered for the role of Batman. However, before the show could come to fruition, DC Comics got the rights for Batman back and then made a deal with ABC to create the 1966 show that we already talked about featuring Adam West. Consequently, anything in context to the 64 Batman pitch was put away or lost, including the publicity stills, which as of today have not been found. Again, I mean, these things are kind of, it might not amount to much, but these are official photographs of a famous actor dressed as Batman for a TV show pitch. I mean, I'm sure if these official stills could be found, any Batman collector would love to have them. Alright, and before we get into the final not safe for work piece, we have another message from me. Thanks, me. Alright guys, so as you know, this is the winner of our 200 subscriber giveaway. This giveaway was for the 6-shooter Cyborg, and the winner of that giveaway is... Bouncing Blue Soul 5270.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Congratulations, Bouncing Blue Soul 5270. You have 7 days to contact me to let me know where I can send this mini. Back to you, me. Thanks, me. Alright guys, for our final piece today, the not safe for work piece of lost media. Actually, once again, this one is considered not safe for life. We have the Daniel P. Dukes lost death photographs and possible footage of Orca attack circa 1999. So Daniel P. Dukes was the second person to be killed by Tilikum, the largest orca held in captivity, on July 6th of 1999. Now, you are probably aware of the other piece of lost media featuring Tilikum killing another individual. This would have been his most recent kill and final kill before his death in 2007, which was when he killed his trainer, Don Branshaw, in 2010 during a performance. That piece of lost media is well known, so it won't be covered on this channel, but what we're talking about is another one of his captivity kills that was likely caught on camera. So, on July 6th of 1999, Daniel P. Duke somehow bypassed security and snuck into SeaWorld Orlando. It is uncertain what his exact time of death was, but for some reason this guy decided to go skinny dipping in Tilikum's sleep tank. Tilikum then reportedly thrashed Duke's body around the tank and eventually killed him. The whale continued to play around with his body until the following morning when he was found parading Dukes' lifeless body on his back. You might not know this about orcas, but they like to kill things for fun and then kind of like play and toy with them. Orcas are dicks. Also, the whale had reportedly bitten off Dukes' genitals. Well, what was this guy doing naked in a killer whale sleep tank that made this whale decide to bite off his genitals?
Dad, what's the blowhole for? I'll tell you what it's not for, son. And when I do, you'll understand why I can never go back to SeaWorld.
Also, he had so many injuries that the autopsies were dumbfounded as to what the actual cause of death was, though we'll just say he was killed by a motherfucking orca. And his face was in such bad condition that his funeral had to be held closed casket. I'm sorry if I chuckled a bit during that. You know, this is the death of a real live human being, but Jesus Christ, why did you took the time to sneak into a theme park so you could skinny dip with a killer whale and piss this thing off to the point where it decided to rip off your genitals. Something's not right about what you were doing. Now, it is possible that Dukes' death may have been captured on security camera footage. However, SeaWorld has declined to confirm this. There are confirmed pictures of his body being carried around by the whale, taken by park employees for reference. However, these photographs, and the surveillance footage, if it exists, has yet to surface, as they are more than likely being held by the FBI, never to be given out for an official release. But yeah, just a brief rundown. In 1991, Tilikum had killed a trainer named Kelty Byrne, and then he had also killed Mr. Dukes, and then he killed Don Branshaw in 2010. And he had continued to be seen at SeaWorld and was still being used in shows until his death in early 2017, and there is a documentary film called Blackfish that details his story and can be viewed on Netflix. But Jesus Christ, how many people does this whale have to kill, including 2 of his trainers, before they stop putting people in the tank with him? Well, apparently the world will never know because he died before they could reach that number. Again, if the security footage exists, I mean, more than just, I don't really want to see a man die, but I do want confirmation on my theory that he was up to something and that's why the whale did what it did to him. And that's our video, folks. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please leave a comment about if you know of any piece of lesser-known lost media that you would like me to cover in a future episode. To those of you who won the giveaways, you do have 1 week to contact me via any of my contacts, links in the description, and just to let me know where I need to send the minis out to. Also, be sure to check the video from yesterday that has information on how to enter the 300 subscriber giveaway for the miniature Bugaboo. And until next time, everybody, this is Chimera Miniatures. I'm Mr. Sean, and I sincerely hope that you alpha great day and an even beta tomorrow. Bye-bye.